All right, driving thoughts. Technically a reaction to the Shang-Chi trailer. Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, or the Legend of the 10 Rings, because they are definitely not calling it the comic is based off of, which is the Master of Kung Fu. Now, right off the bat, I want to talk about something I'm excited about. You got Will Young, Doug Scott, and Will Scott, which is the character. There is a character who I have certain odd characters that I really, really like that are extremely obscure that I got wildly excited about. So this particular one is Razor Fist, and those are the 3 Razor Fists. I don't know which one's going to be portrayed in the movie, but because he has one arm, if I remember correctly, I think Doug, the second Razor Fist, is the one with the one arm. The last one currently is William. So, there is a Toxin miniseries, a character who I kind of wish Marvel would do more with. I know Eddie had it for a little bit. It was a very interesting story with the character of Toxin, and Toxin is Carnage's child. And I'm kind of surprised that I didn't see, at least from what I've seen of it now, let's be frank, there's still, I still have to fully read it. I'm not finished all through it with the King in Black, but I was actually surprised because I thought I would see a little bit of Toxin as a character. But my first, well, until I figured it out later, one of my favorite times, I'm sorry, I'm all discombobulated, just got off of work a little bit ago. So one of my favorite times of Razor Fist is actually in the Toxin miniseries that they did, where he was finding lost children and he was doing these things where he was cutting people, but he was like almost like a cult leader trying to get them to find their awakening. And he had his 2 blades on his arms. Now, there was the Avengers one, the new Avengers that Brian Michael Bendis did, where they had to break out, where I think he had, now please, it's been a little bit since I read it. I usually have a good memory, but sometimes I'll forget. I think he had 2 prosthetic arms, because by this point, I know one of them, because he's very involved in a lot of Iron Fist, because he has actually a fighting style with those razors, those blades. And I know like he had one, and we're seeing him have one in this movie. That's why I'm guessing he's one of the brothers. Now, they could have fused all the characters together, because as much as I like Razor Fist, the brothers and the other one are kind of interchangeable, I guess you could say. There is some differences between them as characters, but not very much, like besides their costumes. But one of the Razor Fist only had one, and then the Daughters of the Dragon, you've seen them on Netflix with Colleen Wing and Misty Stone, which are kind of like a female version of Heroes for Hire, in my opinion, and I really wish we would have gotten that spin-off series on Netflix. But basically, they cut his other hand off, and in turn, he ended up having 2 razor hands, and he actually is a very good fighter and very functioning with those 2 hands. And it's also interesting because he is a character who technically has a physical setback by not having arms, but actually flourishes because of that physical setback, or what some people may say, either handicapped or handicapable. But it's cool to see characters have that villain and hero. I like representation, and even across the board, and I think that's really cool. It's the guy who played Dragunov son and Rocky 4, which is my favorite Rocky movie. And yeah, I'm sorry, he played him in Creed 2, but he was the son of the man from my favorite one in Rocky 4, but he played him in Creed 2. Very actor, it seems like he's moving along. I think he was a good pick. He looks cool. They modernized Razor Fist, so he doesn't have his normal costume on with the mask and things like that. I was kind of curious on how they were going to do the 10 rings, because I was like, well, we already seen fake Mandarin with the rings on his hand, and so I didn't think they were going to go that route. Possibly they could. That would have been a simple way. But then I was wondering as well, Or are they going to kind of take some stuff from Iron Man Armored Adventures? And I'm still curious about that. And with Iron Man Armored Adventures, it ended up going into a suit of armor with the Mandarin. They all were teenagers at the time. They were, younger and stuff like that. So I'm curious on if this is going to be mystical technology, because in the Iron Man cartoon show that actually had ForceWorks in it, the group that they did not name in there, but that group was called ForceWorks. Some of those characters I would like to see back. That was the series that actually made me really like the character Hawkeye. And the Mandarin in that looked kind of like a dragon, had a little bit of the Fu Manchu feel, but he was really mystical and interesting, and it was a really good series. And if you don't remember, it had a boss freaking opening like, I am Iron Man. Like, it was like heavy, like, yeah, I Tang them. And every time he hit the if you look it up on YouTube, every time he would hit the armor, because he was building a new armor, a different suit would pop up. Just check it out. It was awesome if you've never seen that cartoon show. There were some really good Marvel cartoon shows that a lot of people don't realize. They think DC had them all. I mean, yeah, Batman, X-Men, they're pinnacles for a lot of people's opinion. I actually liked Batman, but I prefer Justice League more, especially Unlimited, but that's just me. But I really liked the Iron Man cartoon show a lot. That was back when they had the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four! That's it, don't need no more. Like that, John. And they had Iron Man. I miss show tunes. Who else misses show tunes? Show tunes are what get me pumped for your show. Now it's always like a quick little song and then moving on. No, I want show tunes. Because I remember all those cartoons. My friend laughs all the time. He's like, how do you remember all those show tunes? I'm like, that's what I do. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that. I want show tunes back. Because, I mean, heck, I remember the old 60s one. Well, I have it, a couple tapes, but Tony Stark, make you feel he's the coolest cat with the heart of steel. And Iron Man, all just like Captain America throws his mighty shield. Like, I want show tunes. I don't know, but please tell me in the comments if you guys want show tunes. But back to Shang-Chi, because I'm getting off the topic. So Razor Fist, I was super excited. He is a character. My favorite depiction of him was in that Toxin miniseries, but he was in the comics of Master Kung Fu. I actually have a couple old comics with that where those two got into it. But now the comics called Shang-Chi, anything like that. And I really like that character. I can't wait to see the interaction between those two. I think that's going to be very, very, very cool. Yeah, so I definitely want to see that. I want to see where they go with this. I think it's interesting that the Mandarin is actually going to play his father. I understand why, because of racial insensitivities, we will say. So the Mandarin would actually work better for what they're trying to accomplish, because the character who is actually his father in the comics, which they're probably going to retcon this, is the character Fu Manchu, which is based off of very harsh stereotypes, and that's why the character Yellow Claw that you've seen in comics started to look more monstrous, like a snake, and they kind of got even for that, they kind of got away from that, and I don't disagree with that. Times change, you can retcon and update. The martial art looks solid. Like I said, very excited. I lost my stuff when I saw Razor Fist. I see there's some mystical things there. I am very curious, back to the 10 rings. Are the 10 rings going to be like it was in the Iron Man Armored Adventures? And I feel like it's going to be, I could be wrong, where it's looked at as mystical, but it's actually alien technology. And it's kind of a mix of both. So I liked how the rings go up the arm, so it actually gives him abilities. Now, what I would really like to see is that, does he get those Mandarin abilities where he has like the ice ring and the fire ring and like the force ring, and each ring represents a different ability, or he can use them all and it pumps him up. So I'm curious, are they going to simplify it where the rings pump him up, or are they going to go to a more interesting route where it's like each ring has a different ability and it powers him up? And what I mean by that is, if you go to one of the old cartoons where he fought the Mandarin, where the Mandarin used to wear like a mask, and he was like a kind of a dragon mask, So Iron Man takes off his gloves in this one old 60s cartoon, like literally like they're regular gloves, even though they're supposed to be armor. And he's like, I'm going to beat you up, even though he's wearing a full suit of armor. And then the Mandarin is actually fighting him with hand-to-hand combat. And he goes, I'm going to peel your armor off like I peel a pistachio nut. And I was like, that's nuts. Why are you fighting this dude and he's in armor and you have your bare hands? So I always thought that was cool. It was from the 60s one, Iron Man. Back when he had to find a plug to plug his suit in to power up. So we're finally going to see that. I am a little disappointed that we never got to see Iron Man versus the Mandarin, the full version. But Iron Man, in his mind, he actually took him down. And it's sad that we never got to see that, but it is going to be cool to see what was the Mandarin doing this entire time. How powerful is he with a criminal empire? What he's going to do? What does this mean for him versus Shang-Chi? Where they're at? And another thing, I'm not even saying this because I actually think she's cool. It's just, is Awkwafina in like every, like anything that has like Asian stuff in it? Once again, not a complaint. I'm actually curious because I know she's in Raya and the Last Dragon. I know she's in this. There's another movie that she's about to be in where it's something like that. She was in Crazy Rich Asians. And there was another movie she was in. And I'm just curious because, you know, Hollywood has those go-to people like, and they have their time like Jai Courtney. So like I said, this isn't no hate whatsoever. It's a curiosity. Is she the go-to person right now when it comes to like a lot of Asian films? Everyone has it. There was a time Denzel was the go-to black guy for everything. So like I said, it's not that. I'm actually more curious on, is that what it is? I like her. I think she's funny. I think she has a very unique personality. You know, more power to her. I thought she definitely fit for this. I don't recognize her character. Maybe they made her up for the MCU, possibly, like similar like to Darcy. So I'm just curious because I've noticed I've seen Awkwafina in a lot of stuff. I'm like, okay, are you the it girl right now? Especially when it comes to Asian representation. Like they're like, all right, Awkwafina, we know she can bring people in, so we're gonna get her there. Honestly, personally, I would like to see more stuff with Kelly Marie Tran. I feel bad that Raya and the Last Dragon kind of flopped, and that was like a strong role for her. But I would like to see more of her and see where they could take Kelly Marie Tran. And I would also like to see Lana Condor do some more stuff. I know she just I think won an award, like a fashions award thing she was running. There's some Anna Akana, I just found out, and I didn't notice until I went to our Instagram, is going to be in Jupiter's Legacy. Playing a character I think is like, wow. I once I seen them, like the comic, and now it's like, yeah, she does fit that role really well. Like she matches that. So definitely, I got actors. And but those few, like Lana Condor, Kelly Marie Tran, and like Anna Kana, she was in the MCU. She was the stupid fine girl from Ant-Man. I would like to see more of those actors in a lot of these different things and stuff. It was just, like I said, it's just a question. Is Awkwafina like the new it girl for when it comes to like Asian cinema? I know Sandra Oh's been getting a lot of work, and I'm very happy about that. I think Sandra Oh is an excellent actress, and it's like her time keeps coming back. Even when you think she's starting to disappear, she starts coming back. So that's really awesome. I'm just very excited. Michelle Yeoh is in it. Like second actor from a space film that moved over to a different film. So I think it was Gemma Chan who was Dr. Minerva from Captain Marvel, is now going to be in Eternals, and now Michelle Yeoh, who played in Guardians of the Galaxy, Starhawk's girlfriend. The character Aletta Ogord, there's a little bit of weird history there. So Sylvester Stallone was playing Starhawk, but if you look at him in the comic, he looks a little different. In the comics, they're siblings, but they're also married, and it's like a god put them together. It gets weird. I don't even want to go into it, but I like I told you, I'm a Guardians of the Galaxy fan. Even the original ones with Charlie, 6'7" and all that. But Michelle Yeoh was playing that in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So they kind of moved her into this, which I think they should, because she, when it comes to old kung fu style martial art, old Chinese films, she is a legend on the female side. So I think it's really awesome that they had that. I did see a little bit of certain hijinks that I'm like, I think that'll be great to happen. For some of Marvel's, like, because Marvel always likes to do the comedy stuff. When you see the thing in there, that reminded me a little bit of a Drunken Master Jackie Chan style movie, when they did the thing with the bus and stuff. And I think that's genius, because his style and that kind of comedy actually really would fit this very well, like a Marvel feel very well. So I like what I've seen. I've seen some cool, like, little mysticism to it, some abilities. I seen like it looked like there was creatures and things that have a lot of Chinese influence, and the martial arts I seen in there looked very crisp, very strong, and very interesting characters and how they built it. So this has me excited. I have to say, and I'm going to say something right now, I'm actually more excited for this than Black Widow. So this looks very good. I think they picked a very strong cast from what I've seen. I'm happy we're finally going to see the Mandarin and see how this pans out. And yeah, but you guys tell me in the comments, is Awkwafina that it person, that go-to person right now when it comes to Asian cinema? Especially when it comes to Chinese cinema. Because I know she's not for Asian all across the board, because, you have Korean and, Philippines and everyone else. So I'm talking more for that Chinese feel. I've noticed that she's been in a lot of those things. And I still have to watch that movie, Always Be My Maybe, because Ray Park, he's awesome too. But, and Daniel, wow, his name is escaping me, but I know his last name is Kim. He was in Hellboy. He was playing the Were Jaguar. Like, that guy, I think his name is Daniel Day Kim. I do apologize if I got his name wrong. He's freaking awesome, though. So there's a lot of Asian actors right now coming to the forefront and really showing and really representing. And I think that's really cool. And I think that's personally pretty awesome. There's a lot of talent in that pool. And them getting shine, I think, is awesome. If you haven't seen Parasite, one day, when I own it, I'm going to review it. I have watched Parasite. Parasite's excellent. Koreans have been killing it with their cinema. I think their horror genres and everything has been. The fact that Train to Busan, my personal opinion, is one of the greatest zombie films ever made. My mom, who's not even big, well, she likes zombies, but a certain type of way. I got her to watch it. She was like, that film is amazing. I've gotten other people who aren't even into zombies to watch it. They thought it was amazing. So, good job all around. Shang-Chi looks great. Leave your ideas in the comments. Did you see it? Tell me what it is. Does it keep protagonists? You stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real. And I've rambled on long enough. And I'm also very, very excited about Razor Fist. And I will see ya.